The Digha Nikāya, the suttas list, part 2, the Mahavagga, the Great Division, starting with Digha Nikāya 14, Mahapadana Sutta, tells the story of a past Buddha up to shortly after his enlightenment. The story is similar to that of Gautama Buddha. Digha Nikāya 15, in Pali texts, it is Digha 2, 55. Digha Nikāya 15, Mahanidana Sutta, the Great Causes Discourse, on dependent origination. One of the most profound discourses in the Pali Canon, which gives an extended treatment of the teachings of dependent co-arising, paticca samuppada, and not self, anatta, in an outlined context of how these teachings function in practice. An explanatory preface is included. The third one of the Mahavagga, the Great Division, Digha Nikāya 16, Mahaparinibbana Sutta. In Pali Text Society, this is Digha Nikāya 2, 137, chapters 5 to 6. The Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the last days of the Buddha, the story of the last few months of the Buddha's life, his death and funeral, and the distribution of his relics. This wide-ranging sutta, the longest one in the Pali Canon, describes the events leading up to, during, and immediately following the death and final release, parinibbana, of the Buddha. This colourful narrative contains a wealth of Dhamma teachings, including the Buddha's final instructions that defined how Buddhism would be lived and practiced long after the Buddha's death, even to this day. But this sutta also depicts in this Buddha also depicts in simple language the poignant human drama that unfolds among the Buddha's many devoted followers around the time of the death of their beloved teacher. Digha Nikāya 17, Mahasudassana Sutta. Story of the Buddha's past lives as a king. The description of his palace has close verbal similarities to that of the Pure Land, and Rupert Gethin has suggested this as a precursor. Digha Nikāya 18, Janavasabha Sutta. Janavasabha Sutta. King Bimbisara of Magadha, reborn as the god Janavasabha, hence the name, tells the Buddha that his teaching has resulted in increased numbers of people being reborn as gods. Digha Nikāya 19, Maha Govinda Sutta. Story of a past life of the Buddha. Digha Nikāya 20, Mahasamaya Sutta, the Great Meeting. Long versified list of gods, devas and angels coming to honor the Buddha. A large group of devas pays a visit to the Buddha. This sutta is the closest thing in the Pali Canon to a who's who of the Deva worlds, providing useful material for anyone interested in the cosmology of early Buddhism. Digha Nikāya 21, Sakkapanha Sutta, Pali text, this is Digha 2, 276, chapter 2. Sakkapanha Sutta, Sakka's questions. The Buddha answers questions from Sakka, ruler of the gods, a Buddhist version of Indra. Sakka, the Deva king, asks the Buddha about the sources of conflict and about the path of practice that can bring it to an end. This discourse ends with a humorous account about Sakka's frustration in trying to learn the Dhamma from other contemplatives. It's hard to find a teacher when you're a king. Digha Nikāya 22, Maha Satipatthana Sutta. This is in Pali Text Society, it's Digha 290. Maha Satipatthana Sutta, the great discourse on the foundations of mindfulness. The basis for one of the Burmese Vipassana meditation traditions. Many people have it read or recited to them on their deathbeds. This sutta sets out the full formula for the practice of establishing mindfulness, and then gives an extensive account of one phrase in the formula, what it means to remain focused on any of the four frames of reference, body, feelings, mind and mental qualities, in and of itself. The text of this sutta is identical to that of the Satipatthana Sutta in Majjhima Nikāya 10, except that the Majjhima version omits the expositions of the Four Noble Truths, sections 5, A, B, C and D in part D of this version. And lastly in this, the Mahavagga, Digha Nikāya 23, Pāyāsi Sutta, dialogue between the skeptical prince Pāyāsi and a monk. Pausing there. That's the end of the Mahavagga of the Digha Nikāya.